Alright, so in today's video we're going to talk about 4 products that I bought so you don't have to. These are 4 things that I do not care for, and then I'm going to show you the alternatives. I'm going to show you the thing that I actually do use instead of the one that I don't care for. And so jumping right into it is the BioLite stove. I am not a fan of the BioLite stove. One of the main things is my battery's dead. And starting a fire in here, it's a closed unit. And so getting oxygen inside of here is very difficult, especially when there's a fire inside of here consuming all the oxygen. Also, when you do have the fan, when it is fully charged and you have the fan, it blows out the fire. So if you have a match or a lighter, it blows it out. And so it's really hard to start a fire inside of here. You need some kind of a fire starter like Wet Fire or Zippo fire starter, and you need a stormproof match. Then you can easily get a fire started in here. But even then, you have to make sure that everything is dry, everything is perfect. It has to be perfect conditions to get a real fire started in here. And then once you do get a real fire started in here, then it's awesome. Okay, it is a very efficient wood burning stove. Cooking on it isn't the best, I guess, but when it comes to burning the sticks and twigs, it does it very, very efficiently, right? That's the benefit of the fan, is it burns, and you can have this thing packed full of sticks and twigs and pellets or whatever you put in there, and by the end you have a very little amount of ash. It burns everything fully and completely. But again, it's such a pain in the butt to get it started, and the cable that I need to charge this, I lost it. It's a USB-A to USB-A, so I could easily buy another one, but I'm just not interested. It's such a pain to use that I'm just not interested in it. The other gimmick is that it can charge your phone, and so it creates electricity and it charges the fan, and then once the fan is fully charged, it takes the extra electricity that it's producing and you can use it to charge your phone. And that is a trickle charge. It takes a long time just for your phone to go up a single percent. And so even though it is an efficient stove, for me it's just not worth the hassle. Another one of those wood burning stoves is this one. And the issue with this one is there's no access. The only access is the top, right? And so that makes it really efficient. Again, it's really efficient, but when I have a pot on here and I'm trying to boil water and the fire is going down, I have to take the pot off, put the sticks and whatever in here, put it back on. Well, if there's a stick or something sticking out and I can't get the pot on there quite right without it tipping over, I have to wait for it to burn down, then put the pot on. Well, the water's already cooled down from me waiting, and then the fire's already burnt down, so I need to add more sticks and twigs. And again, it's not as convenient as I would like it to be. And so this is the one that I use, and you can see the discoloration from me using this one. And this one has a giant opening in the front, which a lot of people are going to say, yeah, it's not as efficient as these, and it's definitely not as efficient as the BioLite when you get the BioLite working proper. But when I put sticks in the side here, I can fill this thing full, and even if the sticks are sticking out the side, my pot's on top. And so I can just keep feeding this thing as much as I want, and it's going to boil my water, it's going to cook my meals, it's going to do whatever I need it to do. And so I prefer this over both of these. I'm actually looking at getting a titanium wood burning stove, again with a big opening on the side that's supposed to be better than this one, because this one came in one of those cheap sets that come with the little bowls and the little spatula and the aluminum pots and pans. But if I'm going to use a wood burning stove, this is the one I use, just because it's so convenient, it's so easy to use that it's just worth it to me. All right, next thing is going to be the ThruNite TH10. This is a headlamp. Now, what's sad is when I bought this, I thought this was perfect. This was exactly what I was looking for. It was exactly what I needed. And the more and more I use it, the less and less I like it. The reason I thought it was perfect is because all of my flashlights ran on 18650 batteries, and this runs on an 18650 battery, meaning that if the battery in my flashlight dies, I could take the battery out of this and put it in my flashlight. Or if the battery in this died, I could swap the batteries from my flashlight and my headlamp, and all the batteries were interchangeable. I only needed to carry one charger that could charge this single type of battery, and so I thought this was awesome. It's super bright, I can see really far with it, and like I said, I loved this thing when I first got it. The issue though is it's so heavy, right? As you're wearing it, it's constantly creeping down into your eyes. It weighs down my hat. It's really heavy, and bouncing around, it does kind of work its way down, so it ends up pointing down, and then you got to adjust it and get it back up, and it's fiddly, right? I'm constantly fiddling with it. I'm constantly adjusting it. Even if you watch my short on how I wear a headlamp, when I have it around my neck, it's bouncing on my chest, and it's not comfortable. It's not convenient. It's not easy to use, and so I don't use it anymore. I really don't. What I use instead is this Vont Headlamp. Very lightweight, very easy to use. Push the button and it's on. It's white light, and then push the button and it turns off. Super easy. Now if you go fast, it does have a low, medium, high, and a strobe. And then if you press and hold, this is another thing that I really like, it goes into red mode. And so if it's at night and you don't want to wreck your night adjusted vision, you can put it in red mode, and then it just stays in red mode. It's going to be in red mode every single time you turn it on. And the only way to make it not in red mode is to press and hold again. And then it's always going to be in white mode, right? So every single time I turn it off, it's going to turn back on in whatever mode it was last in. And it's so easy, it's so simple, it's so lightweight, and like I showed in my short, I wear it around my neck and it doesn't bounce around. I can see what I need to see. It's not nearly as bright as the through night, but I learned it doesn't need to be that bright, right? I don't need to see 10 miles into the woods. I just need to see what's happening in front of me. And so for me, now to be fair, the first time I got a Vont reached out to me and they sent me a 2-pack. And they said, if you like it, do a video on it. If you don't like it, don't do a video on it, but you can keep the headlamps. I really liked them. I liked them a lot. And so I did the video, and then I bought with my own money another 2-pack. And then a few months ago, with my own money, I bought another 4-pack. So they sent me 2. I bought 6 with my own money. I have 1 in my tool bucket. I have 1 in the movie cabinet because it's hard to see in there. I have 1 on my desk. That's this one that I reach for all the time. I have 3 in our camping stuff, 1 for Caroline, me, and my son. I have 2 in my Faraday bag, and so I like it. I like it a lot. These are my favorite headlamps. I use them for everything. They're IPX5 water resistant, so they can handle any storm, any rain. You can take them in the shower with you. They'll be just fine. They just aren't submergible. You can't submerge them in water, so as long as you don't drop them in a puddle or drop them in a lake or something, they should be just fine. And I really like them a lot. And they're very affordable on top of that. A 2-pack with batteries and everything is like $14, and a 4-pack is $20. And that's with batteries and everything. And so they're very affordable. I can't say enough good things about them. I really like the Vont headlamps. Again, I will leave affiliate links to the stuff I like in the description box down below. I'm not going to link to the stuff I don't like. Next on the list is going to be this. And I thought this was going to be the coolest thing ever. This is a Bug Assault, the original salt gun. And this is, you put salt in the hopper. It's a pump action, so you pump and then you can shoot bugs right out of the sky. You can shoot them from across the room. And the reality is, no, you can't. You cannot. You have to get 3 inches tops. 3 inches away at most. Okay, at most 3 inches away. You have to get real close in order to kill the bug that you're shooting. And it's just not worth it. And then salt's everywhere. So if you use it inside your tent, if you use it inside your home, salt's everywhere. You have to get really close to the fly, and so getting that close, it usually flies away. And so it's not what I thought it was gonna be. So what do I use instead? Just a fly swatter. Just a cheap little fly swatter that you can get probably at the dollar store. They're very affordable, they're very cheap, and you can actually get farther away with this than you can with the bug assault. So I just use a normal fly swatter. Alright, so the last thing that I don't like is the Picardian. I don't know how to pronounce it. Picardian bug spray. This is for ticks and mosquitoes. Alright, so here, this is what I use instead. I use Maxi Deet. I like to use Deet. This is 100% Deet and Permethrin. These are the two things that I actually use. They're Sawyer Deet, and then there's Benz 100. They're the same thing. They just go on sale at different times, and so sometimes I buy the Benz 100, sometimes I buy the Maxi Deet. It just depends on which one's on sale. I do prefer the Maxi Deet just because I like the bottle better. I have had a couple times where the Benz bottle has leaked, and I don't like when Deet leaks because it ruins the plastic. It'll eat through plastic. And so whatever you have it in, if you have it in your backpack, if you have it in a container, it eats through that plastic. And so I like the Sawyer bottles better because they don't leak as much. And so usually when the Sawyers are on sale, I'll buy 4, 6 of them because they come in a 2-pack. And then this is what I use for mosquitoes. And then I use Permethrin for ticks. All right. Now, the Picardian, it works for mosquitoes. They won't bite you, right? And so the Deet, when I use the Deet, the mosquitoes, there's kind of like a barrier around me. I'll put Deet on my hat, I'll put Deet on my shirt and my pants and my boots, and there's kind of like a barrier. Like the mosquitoes they're there, but they're kind of keeping their distance, right? They're right in my face. They're on my arms. They're not biting me per se, but they might not even be landing on me, but they are just right in my face, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Get out of my bubble. I want them away from me, and the Deet accomplishes that better than this. So I'm not going to say that this doesn't work. Now the other difference is this lasts 12 hours, where this only lasts 10. This lasts 6 months or 6 washes, whichever comes first. And so it does last longer, but I don't like that it doesn't repel them. You know, it prevents them from biting, but it doesn't repel them. It doesn't keep them at their distance. And so, not a fan of that. Maxi Deet, a lot of people are going to say it's not good for you. You shouldn't put it on your skin. I try not to put it on my skin. I do. I put it on my arms. I put it on my pants. I put it on my hat. I put it on my boots. The Permethrin, same thing. I put it on my boots, my socks, my pants, my shirts, my tent, kinda. I put it around the zippers of my tent. I don't cover my whole tent with it. That would get too expensive in my opinion. And so I just do around the zippers and everywhere where I don't want them getting in, right? I just don't want them in my tent. I don't care if they're on my tent. I just don't want them getting inside. And so I'll spray the door and the windows. And so this works really well for ticks. This works really well for mosquitoes. That's what I prefer. And with that being said, I want to know, what are your favorite things? Let me know in that comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I can't wait to see you on my next video.